So I'm listening to music as I record these. And if you see me like bobbing my head a little bit, that's why. Anyway, hi, my name is Joey. I've been making content as a flesh tuber for like a good long while and had to put content on the back burner for a couple of years. This is a part of me coming back. You can find my main channel and my Twitch and stuff in the description, but I want to talk about an interesting thing. This isn't going to be news to some people, but I've seen more and more creators saying, I wish more VTubers thought of themselves just as content creators rather than VTubers. And I spent a little bit of time sitting with that and kind of unpacking that a little bit. If you haven't guessed, yeah, I've been doing the indie VTuber thing, sure. But there's a little bit of a question in my mind in trying to unpack that. I feel like we've come to a place where VTubing is no longer a content niche. I feel like for a while, if you were a VTuber, you could just get attention. You got free attention. You got free views and subscribers and stuff because you were being innovative, whether you were with an agency or whether you were not with an agency. If there was a time when I feel like it was a cheat code, it was like a Game Shark cheat code that if you had a VTuber model, you were winning. End of story. And like maybe if you kind of played to the idol culture stuff a little bit, if you played to the influences, if you tried to like address the overlap with anime culture and stuff, you would maybe do a little bit better, I think. But I feel like we've come to the end of that era, specifically. It's interesting for a couple of different reasons. I definitely feel like there was a time when that was not the case. VTubing was its own little content niche. You know, it made sense for VTubers to use the VTuber tag because there weren't very many VTubers around. You know, admittedly, during that time, I wasn't paying a whole ton of attention to VTubers. Like a little bit here and there, sure, but not like I have been for the last year or two. I talked about this in the Gura video a little bit, but I feel like this is becoming more and more the case with agency VTubers, breaking away from agencies to make content as indie VTubers. When you have the support of an agency and you're kind of playing to that, you're playing to idol culture a little bit, then you've got the support that is needed to just make your VTuber persona your entire brand. I don't feel like in 2025, I don't feel like there are many VTubers out there doing that, me finding success with that. I feel like for the most part, the VTubers who are doing that have been forced to move on to content that is a little more niche. In the Gura video, I brought up the fact that indie viewership numbers seemed like they were going down. Maybe that's a part of it, is that maybe there are still too many indie VTubers that are trying to chase what the agencies are doing. They're trying to chase idol culture. Don't get me wrong, I think that's cool as hell. As one of the biggest things that attracted me to VTubing is the fact that a lot of the content that is in idol culture is the content that I was making or wanted to make. It was like personality driven, and it made space for these like big creative endeavors like songs and music videos and stuff like that. But it was also very, I don't know, it seemed like it rewarded a level of production quality that was what I was aiming for and what I was making. Again, if you want examples of that, you can find it on my main channel. But I think there are a lot of content creators who were experimenting with content that seemed like it could have fit the idol mold had it just been a little bit more idolizable. If that makes sense. I don't know, that's weird. But nowadays, it seems like any advice from established creators is to niche down, which I understand that, but to niche down within the VTuber space. So there was, I think it was Randon the Orc, whenever he was talking about the male VTuber debuff, which I've got my own thoughts about that. But he was mentioning that, like, if you're making content, you're the guy for that content. You're the person that people tune into for the content that you're making.
Content consumers are very, very picky. A person hops on YouTube to watch your videos or your streams on topic A. It is almost impossible to get them to watch your video that you made about topic B. They only want A from you. Even if they like topic B, they've already got a guy for topic B. You're their topic A YouTuber, and you're going to stay that way.
If the only content that you're making is, I am a VTuber, people probably already have somebody for that. They probably already have a VTuber that they're watching that fills that need for them. But if you can find something that you're passionate about, there's probably people out there that would watch it and probably that don't have like a VTuber guy for that. You know what I mean? That's not what this is. I feel like a part of the reason why I made this channel was to play around with different subjects that I'm very passionate about and just see how the algorithm treated it and see if we can interrogate any successes from the algorithm and stuff like that. But whatever, I went into that in another video as well. But I think there is one exception where VTubing is a content niche. And that is specifically with VTubing tutorials and advice videos, where it's like, hey, here's how you set up Warudo, or here's how you configure your face tracking in Live 2D or VTube Studio or whatever, or here's how you draw and rig a model and stuff like that. If it's like tutorial content or like advice content or growth content that is specific to VTubers, then I think that is the only case in which VTubing is a content niche. Anyway, I think ultimately what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to say that I get it fairly often where folks come into my stream, they're like, oh, I'm thinking about VTubing. I'd like to get into content creation as a VTuber. I want to do, I want to do the VTubing. And like, I absolutely would encourage that. Like, if you want to make some content, you go make some content. Like 100%, you should do it. But I wouldn't expect VTubing to be the vehicle that gets you there. Or in other words, I think if you want to be successful with it, speaking as someone who is not successful with it yet and who is not going to be successful with it on this channel, I'm pretty sure you got to be, it's very competitive, and like you really have to find a way to stand out. And by that I don't mean make your character design stand out, pick a name that is the best name ever. By that I mean you've got to use the medium to tell stories in ways that no one else is telling stories. And like, if you can't do that, I don't know how, I don't know. But like, it absolutely can be done. I feel like anybody can do it. I feel like that's a creative problem that everyone is uniquely positioned to solve for themselves. Every channel is unique. Every content creator their content is unique to them. This video is not meant to be discouraging, but my hope is that for some people, it'll be a little bit of an eye-opener. Anyway, that's it. This video has gone on long enough. My name is Joey. If you're in that group that was like, hey, I want to be a VTuber, I would love it if you came by a stream to gab with me a little bit about it. I'm happy to talk about like how I got my model and what decisions and stuff went into me making this channel and the way that I'm approaching my content and stuff like that. I love to yap about that stuff in the Discord, on Twitch chat, whatever. Anyway, my name is Joey. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching my video. You made it right into this video a really long time. Great job, buddy. Great job. I'm proud of you. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Okay. My name is Joey. Bye. Bye.